Wrestling and fashion aren't two words you would normally hear together in the same sentence, but today I have an excellent collection of WWE t-shirts that you absolutely have to have. In fact, I narrowed it down to the 3 must-own WWE t-shirts for every wrestling fan. Let's get into it, shall we? What's going on, everybody? I am Robbie Diesel, and today I have 3 t-shirts that I think are must-haves. If you're a wrestling fan, you gotta have these shirts in your collection. Some old, some new, all 3 classics. Before we get into the t-shirts though, make sure that you subscribe to this channel so you get every single video, much like this one, and everything else that we have to offer. Hit subscribe, click that bell icon so you get notified every single time that I upload. Let's do it. All right, shirt number 1 is a modern day classic with a fantastic story behind it, right? This gentleman here has been in the WWE for 11 long years. He's been saddled with terrible gimmicks at time. We all remember the Rasta Jamaica. He's been near the main event scene, never quite got a chance to sniff it until just now, recently. And of course, if you don't know by now, the gentleman that I'm referring to is Mr. Kofi Kingston and his WrestleMania Championship shirt. As all things that they do, it's got Kofi on there. It's got his 2 New Day brethren, Big E and Xavier Woods. His shirt is essentially the culmination of a fantastic story, man. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E were kind of saddled with this preachy, church-going gimmick, and they came out and they were clapping and dancing, and the crowd just didn't get behind it until one magical night. They just kind of started doing their own thing. They were more themselves than ever before, and they got crazy over as heels, and it kind of took off from there, man. Their merch is selling through the roof. Xavier Woods is wildly successful with his YouTube channel, Up Up Down Down. Big E is always and forever Big E. He is a master at Twitter. All 3 of them together make a really powerful unit, but Kofi himself is the really big success story there, and why I have him as the number 1 first t-shirt on this list. He's a modern day classic, man. He's a great success story. He's been in the company. He's busted his butt for 11 years. Finally got his title opportunity, took it and ran with it. And the crowd is still behind him. They've yet to sour on Mr. Kofi. So we'll see how his journey finishes up. But that's the first shirt on the list. My personal favorite, I think. Number 2 is not number 2 by any stretch, but unfortunately, due to the era that he came up in, he was always considered the number 2 wrestler behind Hulk Hogan. Me personally, I've always felt this dude was number 1 with a bullet. Crazy good on the mic, crazy good in the ring. If you don't believe me, go back and watch WrestleMania 3, his match with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And then if you want to watch some of his greater matches in his later years, go back and watch some of his WCW stuff with DDP. Dude was just fantastic all the way through and through. And of course, I'm talking about none other than the Macho Man. Yeah. This dude was like legit my favorite wrestler though. Like I love the pageantry of his entrance, the robes, the goggles, the crazy promos, the intensity. Dude was just always intense. Like I don't know if he ever turned it off. But Macho Man had it all, man. He had the charisma, he had the look, he had the in-ring acumen, and then of course he had the woman. He had Miss Elizabeth. Like what 8-year-old boy back in the day didn't just absolutely adore Miss Elizabeth? Like, for real. Macho Madness ran wild for like over 20 years. It started in the WWF and ran all the way through in the WCW and even into his days with the NWO. All right, the third and final t-shirt. This should be an absolute no-brainer, man. Like, In the 80s, if you want to talk about people who were superstars, then of course you have to mention people like Sergeant Slaughter. You have to mention people like Macho Man. You have to mention people like Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior, of course. But into the 90s, when the WWF started to get a little more edgy, there was a man who turned the term superstar on its head, and he transcended the wrestling business and turned into a mega star. Like, arenas always sold out when this dude was wrestling, or even if he was coming out to cut a promo. You never knew what was going to happen. There was always some sort of vehicle being driven to the ring, Zambonis or dirt bikes or 4x4s, everything. This dude was always there to show up, raise hell, and then leave. Of course, the third and final shirt belongs to none other than Mr. Stone Cold Steve Austin, and this shirt in particular, man, is probably one of the more double-sided too. Stomping mud holes and walking them dry. This one in particular was probably one of his most popular designs outside of the one where he had his hands raised. Hands were snakes. That one was pretty dope too. Or the classic Austin 316 shirt. But this one in particular existed during the height of one of his biggest runs as WWF champion. Stone Cold was just a hell of a performer, man. Again, he shares the same traits as Macho Man did. He was excellent on the mic, excellent in the ring. Later on, he kept getting plagued with injuries, so I think that kind of cut an otherwise stellar career shorter than what it could be. But the time that Stone Cold was out and about, man, he was with it. So you can't dispute that at all. Stone Cold was the man. No matter who you talk to, if you watched wrestling, if you didn't watch wrestling, in the 90s, Stone Cold owned pro wrestling. And still to this day, dude is still kind of crazy over with his podcast. I listen to it quite a bit. So, all right, dudes, that was my list of the 3 WWE/WWF t-shirts that you absolutely must own if you are a fan of wrestling. What do you think? What are your thoughts? Do you think one of these shirts could be interchangeable? Who were your favorite wrestlers back in the day? What is a shirt that you would consider must own? Let me know down in the comments below. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up icon. Give us a like. Let us know what you think. Also, again, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get every single video much like this one. Turn on that little bell icon. And if you are a fan of premium, high fashion, high quality t-shirts, then you can head on over to nerd-news/shop and pick yourself up one of the site's t-shirts. We have fantastic, comfortable, cozy, fashionably awesome t-shirts for everybody. I am Robbie Diesel. Thank you guys so very much for watching this video. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.